Rackety lacking. The Atom 2 has some really compelling features like 32 minutes of flight time, 1080p transmission to the controller, 8K photos, 4K video, panoramas, AI night mode, and AI tracking, 5x slow motion, pretty cool, and 2.7K vertical video. Looks like 25 megabits per second, sub 249 grams. It's got a half-inch CMOS sensor with a 48 megapixel camera and a f1.8 aperture, which is really, really cool. Doesn't have the traditional pointy antennas. Sticks are stored at the bottom here. Just pull them out, screw them in. It expands and closes. You can plug the charger into the battery itself and just have it charged. It's red when it's charging. It comes with a little Velcro strap. Hold out the front legs first and then the rear legs afterwards. Move this. Very nice. Instruction manual is very detailed, has a lot of pictures and colors, so you'll enjoy reading that if you're a first-time flyer. I don't know if you can see that, 245 grams, ready for takeoff. Bigger than you would expect, but guess what? You've got to charge all 3 batteries at the same time, so it's going to need a pretty powerful power source. You've got a USB-A out to charge your phone and stuff. Pretty cool. And of course, you've got your iPhone cable for your remote and your Android USB-C. Plethora of spare props. Pop in an SD card. This uses a new app. It's called the Potensic Eve app. Potensic here. Okay, I'll skip on that for now. We got video, we got everything. We're ready to go. We're ready to go. All right, we got to take this outside, give it a flight. I'll say that this thing is very easy to hand launch. I can reach all my buttons for my phone at the top here easily, so I don't have to worry about unclipping it just to raise the volume and stuff like that. Same with the buttons at the bottom. Right now, it is about, 31 miles an hour gusting, right? Normally, I wouldn't fly in 30 miles an hour, no mini drone, but the birds are, ooh, look at the birds, boy. No distance limit. Maximum altitude, no height limit. Give me the full height. Give me imperial. I don't need metrics. I don't need safety tips. Take off in hand. I'll turn that on. Even though I was able to take off in my hand, I use the sticks to take off in my hand. So there's even a mode for that. That's good. An emergency stop. The maps are there. We have layers. I can use satellite if I wish. Very nice. And the app responds quickly, efficiently. Especially if you have a good fast phone. I like that they put these 2 custom buttons here because that was one complaint I had on the Potensic Atom 1, I should say, or just the original Potensic Atom. Let's go to control next. Button customization. Both of these dials are customizable, so you can adjust it going left or you can adjust it going right. Press it to look up, press it to look down. Very nice. Moving on to the C2 button, press to go between the modes. So you tap this to go between normal mode, sports mode. Love it. Double press to cruise control, so you have cruise control as well. Oh, it's a zoom. Oh my gosh, I've got zoom in my life. Look at that. The right dial is for zoom. And then when you hold down the C1 and you press it, it adjusts your ISO. Normal mode, sports mode. Sports mode books it. Ooh, sports mode's up there. Sports mode's pretty strong. Let's set up the manual camera. Wow, 4K 30, max 16:9. Color HDR. There's HDR color. Very good. There's no log or anything, but at least there's HDR, which is pretty good. Wow, we got video, photo, normal, AI night, slow motion, panorama. Wow. This thing's got some decent features. All right, let's record some video. We've got 50%. I've got good battery life at 51%. Decent signal. I'm really interested to see what the 4K looks like on this. It has an f1.8 aperture, so it should be letting a lot of light into this half-inch sensor. So we should be getting really good video, really good quality images out of this camera. Getting some slight breakups, but I also have my windows up and I'm flying through the glass. There's a defog mode. That's pretty cool. And video transmission. Very nice. So this thing is fighting wind, like Wow, I flew 5,000 feet total flight, and I got 19 minutes out of it. That's not bad. 19 minutes is not bad at all under these conditions. Well, I got to do an 8K photo and compare that to like a 4K photo. All right, let's take this 8K image. Need some 8K in your life? And we will compare those to see if there's a big difference. The zoom is actually pretty useful, at least for exploring. How good of an image it is, I don't know. Let's zoom out, snap a photo, and then zoom in, snap a photo, 2x zoom. That's not bad. And we shall compare the image quality. Yeah, that's taking 3 shots, so you can layer the photographs on top of them. There's also an integral timer. There's also a burst mode, which is pretty cool. And you got videos and you got panorama. The wind is definitely beating it up. There we go. So nice. It's got some really nice features. Now, I can't test the range because I don't want to fly too far in this heavy wind. It's just not advisable. Not even in sports mode, because not only is it going to drain the battery, but it's putting a lot of pressure on this little drone. Wow, you can really get some precise flying. See that? With these sticks, because it's just nice and spaced out and screens right in between. So it's perfect. Very nice. There's a hard button here as well to start and stop recording, so that's pretty cool. I do want to see the difference between the video. I remember that's standard, and then there's HDR. Let's try the HDR. I like the HDR, at least from what I'm seeing here on the screen, even though this is just for viewing. There we go. Hit the stop record button. This controller, I've already flown 2 batteries, and I haven't even budged the battery on the controller yet. Even behind me, I have RC signal. So the drone's actually, well, the drone's off behind the side over there. I didn't have to like angle the controller or anything. It just it seems to be picking up the signal very well. Oh, it's got slow motion too. Slow motion for me. Let me see if I can get these birds. Let's get some slow motion. I'll try the slow motion there. 5x slow motion too. That's insane. I could have gone 2x or 5x. I went super slow. Slow motion doesn't have a manual mode, so bear that in mind, right? Slow motion is only in 1080p, 25 frames a second. So bear that in mind as well. There's an AI night mode. Got to test that out in the night, see how it works. For a half-inch sensor, your expectations definitely have to be managed. However, with the night mode on, wow, it looks way better. The image is a bit soft, to be fair, but that's what happens probably when you apply noise reduction and those kinds of stuff that they're using here. I will say that the results are very, very adequate, especially the effort that's put into the night mode over here. If you're a beginner, you don't know how to use programs like DaVinci Resolve and stuff like that, this night mode will be a savior. And if you're on a budget and you do have programs like DaVinci Resolve, you can take this night mode footage and really just clean up the little bit of noise that's in it and make it even more palatable for the eyes and sharpen it up a little bit as well. With that being said, the next thing that I wanted to test out is the tracking along with the SmartShots. I want to see what SmartShots it has and how well it does at it. So let's go check it out. Starting with the AI track, there's a mode called Spotlight, which basically just allows the drone to yaw around you and follow you, but the drone doesn't actually move left, right, up, down, forward, or back. It just spins around on its axis as you move around, and that's kind of like a spotlight to keep its eye on you, whether it be you or a vehicle. I think the drone does a good job. In the AI track mode, there's also follow. Basically, you just draw a box around yourself on the screen, and that's pretty much it. You choose follow or track or whatever it is, and you're off to the races. You can run, you can walk. This thing will follow you pretty well. I find it to do a very good job, but it tracked me to this side perfectly. Now switching over to AI quick shots, we have the pull away, and same thing, you draw a box around yourself, you select the mode, and this one pulls away pretty nicely. And what I like about this drone is that it also returns to you when it's done the shot, which is it's really cool. With the rocket and the pull away, you can select how far you want the rocket or the pull away to go. In this case, I chose 100 and almost 30 feet, I think it was. And yeah, it can go pretty far. So you can go from 30 feet to 130 feet. And it's got a lot of modes, like this one, the spiral or the boomerang. If you'll notice towards the end of the spiral, see the camera just glitched a little bit there. So maybe a little touch of work there, but overall, it does a great job at the spiral and boomerang. And the same thing when tracking a car as well, whether it's regular tracking like this, where it's chasing you down from behind. It does a phenomenal job, except you can see here when I touch the sticks, it kicked it out completely of the tracking mode, which is not a big deal if you're in trouble like I am with some birds sometimes and you just want to take over. All you do is touch the sticks and you have full control. It comes out of the tracking mode, whether it be parallel track or just regular track. It comes jumps right out of the mode. So that's great for emergencies. But what if you're in a clear area, you don't have any emergencies, and you want to adjust up or adjust down the height that you're tracking at and stuff? You'll have to stop the tracking, readjust your height, and start tracking again. So it has its pros and cons. So just be aware of that. Passing through this flagpole, light post, no problem. You can see here, it just locks on with you with a dot and a little cross. Going through these trees, it's still winter here, so no leaves yet, but did a great job with the AI passing through those trees and stuff there. Speed it up a little bit, and it just does a good job. I did about 13 miles an hour max. I found out like once you hit 15, 16, 17, you really start picking up speed. Because it is a mini drone, it starts to lag behind a little bit. But as long as you're between 12, 13 miles an hour, I think you won't have any problems with the tracking on this drone. So one other thing worth mentioning, right now I'm in a zero altitude airspace. And the drone's on right there sitting on the dashboard. Obviously, it's inside. I won't fly it, but takeoff is permitted. So this drone definitely has no restrictions. So I don't know, maybe a good thing or a bad thing depending on who you are. This drone is supposed to have remote ID built in, which is insane. The 2.7K video is a pleasant surprise on such a small drone. The signal is very strong. I can't say I've ever lost signal just flying around, but it has been skippy a little bit. Like you can see in the video here, it feels like it skips sometimes. And then even though it says it's a 1080p transmission, you can see some pixelation sometimes. So I would more equate it to be 720p. I tested the quick transfer mode, and let me tell you, it is insane. It is exactly as it boasts, about the 25 megabits per second. It is fast for 4K videos. 3-minute video took just about a minute and a half. 8 photos just took like seconds, literally. This thing downloads really fast when you put it into that quick transfer mode. So I highly recommend you use that. It would be nice to get ND filters for this little drone, but I just don't think they're available. I love that this drone has almost every single feature that you will find in a drone for $1,000 or $1,100 or $1,200. And the fact that the features, or at least 95% of the features, work spot on, I think is amazing. The only feature that this doesn't have, that the more expensive $1,200, $1,300 mini drones have, is waypoints. So it would be nice to see an update with waypoints, but as of now, this drone does not have waypoints, but it's pretty much got everything else. Now, my best flight time with this drone since I got it has been 24 minutes. And let me tell you, we are winter heading into spring, and it has just been windy every single day. So there's no day that I went up and I didn't get any wind. I really like this drone. It's dependable. Its performance as well. It flies really good, especially in heavy wind, which is really surprising. And this drone is it's just a champ. It's just well made. The app is real stable. Yes, they have some tweaks and some improvements to make, but who knows? It can all be done through software updates. I'll leave links in the description section below. You can go and grab this drone if you want off of Potensic or Amazon one of those two dealers. With that being said, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Make sure you think about becoming a patron. And if you have more questions about this drone, just message me in the comment section below or head over to Patreon and shoot me a comment there. Got one battery left, so I want to take one more flight. I will catch you guys, well, whenever I can.